We're on. Another day, another video.
On with better audio that you've dropped.
Maybe this one time. All right. G'day guys, it's Ben.
And Jake.
From Hunt the Nice. Now, we're back. Again, 2
days in a row.
Well, it depends how you're watching the videos, but from a recording point of view, it's 2 days in a row.
We could put them all so it looks like we do this full time.
Well, we're going to be doing another video today because today, not that it means any relevance if you're watching this in 2026, but today we've also got Dan Hardy coming in. So
Dan.
we're going to be working with Dan and interviewing with Dan today too. But we're not talking about that today. We are talking about this new little unit from HIKMICRO. What is it, Jake?
New Alpex.
New Alpex Lite, the 4K Lite. How light?
465 grams light.
Is that 430?
400 and something grams light.
400 without the rings, and obviously, and it is small.
It is.
And light. And compared to the HIKMICRO Alpex 4K LRF,
which is big and bulky.
This thing is absolutely tiny. Now, we're just going to have a quick chat about what it is, because it's different to the big one, okay?
Same but different.
Same but different. It's not a replacement.
No.
This is pitched at two different things.
Correct.
This is much more of a shorter range, rimfire, air rifle. You can put it on up to a 300 Win Mag.
Oh, so it's still recoil.
It's still recoil rated, which I was actually really surprised, because it being so light, it's going to have a lot of recoil going through it. But then you see lightweight glass scopes as well, But I spoke to HIKMICRO and they said, yep, it's recoil rated, same as the Alpex. But it's got a much smaller lens in the front here.
It's tiny.
Okay. During the day, that doesn't matter so much. The day image on this is
still 4K.
Still fantastic,
amazing,
right?
Yeah.
But at night time, you do notice it's probably restricted in range just a bit more, because it's not as much IR light coming into it over distance.
Yeah.
Okay. And I saw that when we were out shooting last night, running the torch. When I got to about kind of 60 meters or so, things will get a bit grainier than the 4K when you're under zoom and stuff like that too. Hypersensitive though. Like, I was only running the torch last night, and I'll roll some footage and stuff on this. I was only running the torch on low power, 940, and the image quality on it was absolutely fantastic. It has all the things in like it does in the 4K, so it's got your ballistics.
Honey, I shrunk your 4K.
Honey, I shrunk.
Literally, everything's smaller.
It is, everything is smaller. The difference is though, with this as well, there's a couple of things. One, they've changed a few things in how this works. What you're playing with is fantastic. That new encoder on here, where the button system is, the rotary encoder, is so lovely to use.
Yeah, it's actually nice and firm too.
It's firm.
Yeah.
The other ones can sometimes be a little sloppy,
quick and
you're quick, you knock
Nothing
it.
worse than when you're trying to freeze a picture, when you're zeroing it and you knock it around and then you're insane.
You've got to do it again, right? No, it is super, super nice, this encoder. And all the buttons are here now. There's no buttons back here. This is so natural to use. I didn't have to think about which buttons I was pressing.
No.
Rangefinder works brilliantly on it as well. The ballistics compensation works great. I'll put up a video now where I wasn't trusting the ballistics, and then I trusted the ballistics and I actually hit the bird. I missed it a few times thinking, not sure if that's right, and then I actually trusted and got, okay, that was right. So the ballistics in it works really well.
It does.
They've changed the ballistic setup in this, and there's a new firmware rolling out to all the other ones too,
4K,
as well, where previously the ballistics profile was independent of your zero.
Correct.
So you could have a zero, and then you had to select your ballistics profile. They've changed that. It's
so now when you select what profile you're shooting with what gun, it automatically changes.
The ballistics is now done in that zeroing profile menu now. So it's so much better.
That's a massive
you don't have to think
quality
about
of life change.
It is. I don't know why it wasn't done like that to begin with, but none of them do it like that initially. HIKMICRO is the only one that's tying it to the reticle, which is exactly what you want it to do.
Being smaller, do you find it's going to have better or worse battery life?
Well, we ran it for 4 hours last night, and I'd stuck half an 18650 charged, like half a charged 18650 battery in it, and I didn't run out of power.
Yes, it may be this small, but it still runs an 18650.
It still runs an 18650. It runs an internal battery too. Change in how the battery management works. So in the 4K, it'll use the internal battery first and then the external battery. Yep. In the Lite, it'll use, like the Stellars, it'll use the external battery first and then the internal battery.
Is that something they could do in a firmware upgrade for the big fit 4K to
I'm not sure. I can't see why not, but I would have expected them to do it by now, because that is a frustrating feature. Where here, you just bang in a battery, and and so you can use that one there as reserve, the internal one as reserve, almost 100%. As well. So you're not having to try and charge it all the time. Two things you need to be mindful of. Now, when I was running this last night, I mounted this up in my Magnatec mounts, which I love. They're becoming actually, I'm really enjoying these Magnatec mounts and these magnet system. We can move them between different platforms. But to put the ring adapter on for the torch to put on here, it won't work with the Magnatec mounts unless you put it all the way back here, and then you're interfering with your controls. Because it is shorter. Because it's shorter, okay? So a consideration for this when you're mounting it is just the width of here. We're going to get some rings that have got the Picatinny on top anyway, which you can plug directly onto, but it is a little bit more restrictive. You'll be fine with like your little worn 514Ms or your Leopolds, because they're only a thin base, but like a one-piece mount where they've got this chunky top. Yeah, your Porters, that type of stuff aren't going to work. Burris Zs are going to work fine. Yeah. But I just ran my torch off because I was using my FX Impact on my underrail anyway on the Picatinny, and it worked absolutely fine. The only other criticism I have, and this is not really here nor there, just something to be mindful of, there is not a flat piece on this to level it, okay? Yeah. So the way I've actually leveled it is I leveled a bubble level to the bottom, to the flat piece here. Yep. And then, so I've now permanently got a bubble attached, but it looks like I'm a power shooter. Yeah. So because I can't get that back off because of this ring setup. That's all right. But there's not a flat piece. So when you're actually putting this on, you just got to be mindful, by a bubble level, level out to the bottom bit down here, because it's not going to. Now, power on off on the side. I like that. I like it. It's a beautiful power on off. Yeah. And that's all that button does. It'll put it into sleep mode, take it out of sleep mode. Yeah. Okay. It's recessed into this little housing. So you can't knock it. You can't knock it, man. Beautiful. The design in this, it almost feels like, even this, like that is just, it feels like a proper turret cap. Yeah. The design on this is absolutely beautiful. All this texture, the weight is unreal. The sizes. What do you find this? Like, what do you find people buying this for? Oh, we are going to sell heaps of these on air guns. This is going to be like an ultimate rimfire. Ultimate rimfire, night vision, air gun. I think stalkers as well, who want to capture digital footage, because it's so light. Yeah. And the image quality is unreal. So, going through the rut and stuff like that, this is going to be fantastic for recording. People love to put all that type of stuff on social media these days. What are they worth? That's the good bit. So, in Australian dollars, I've got my checkbook out. Today, now, just like the 4K, these do not come with an illuminator. Okay. So no rings either. No rings, no illuminator. It comes with a battery charger, an extra battery, and the unit. Yep. And a useless manual. Yep. Okay. And a box. And the box is nice and small, much easier to post. Without the rangefinder, because it's two models, $8.99. That's a bargain. Shit, that's cheap. That is cheap. I don't even know how much they are. $11.99 with the rangefinder. That's pretty good, eh? That's cheap. Like, wow. I mean, you sound like bloody hell. We never discussed prices. Like, I had no idea. The price point blew me away. Yeah, that's crazy. I think because the 4K is still $14.99, in the much bigger unit. To get this down to $11.99, add your illuminator, $300-400 for a good quality illuminator. $1,500 will get you. $1,500 is going to get you a really good setup. This would be an awesome setup with like a little NV103, just a nice small torch. Yeah. It doesn't need, given its restrictive distance, it doesn't need our big dual. If you run a 303 on this, the torch is going to be that on it. Well, I mounted it up here yesterday and it kind of stuck up here and it was like really, really cool. It looked sick, but very impractical. Little IR torch. What I actually would have loved to have seen them do is in this housing here. IR building. Yeah, little laser-based V-cell IR like PARD do. That would have been nice. That'd be unreal, because then it gets all rid away, all that. And we do have the new PARD coming, which has got this much smaller, integrated, removable kind of thing with the rangefinder and IR, so it'd be interesting to see how that compares to this. But man, I'm super stoked with it. Like, I had so much fun shooting with it out on our rat contract.
And to put that into perspective, Ben bought 2 air rifles, one of them being his Impact with this on it, and his crate with his Knockmix S75R. And I think you laid 5 shots with the S75R and about 500 through this.
Oh man, I know, because I was having so much fun.
If that kind of says anything, then
I didn't go back to. I know, I was like, oh man, I should use my Rico, but I'm like, this is just so much fun.
Yeah.
But I love shooting with night vision, right? Especially in little stuff like that where it's so precise work as well. Night vision for me is still a phenomenal technology. I mean, I love it in its right application.
100%.
I found it easier when we're shooting the Myna Birds to shoot it with night vision, because 100%. You see so much more of it because they're insulated, right? It's so much easier to put shot placement on them with this. And that's what I thought I was going to use my Rico for. And then I'm like, nah, I wasn't real happy with it. So I went back to this, and I just kept finding myself going back to this.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was just all night. It was just, it was unreal. Yeah. Anyway, there it is, guys. Available now at huntthenight.com.au. Pre-orders, it is 22nd of May today. We're expecting to see these, I think, by the first week of April, around that. So about 2 weeks.
First week of April?
I mean June.
We're in May.
June.
We're seeing them last month.
We're seeing go back in time.
About 2 weeks.
In about 2 to 3 weeks, I think we're going to see these. So get your pre-orders in, because I reckon stock availability is going to be really low.
Yeah.
Because I think these are really well priced, and I'm just so impressed with the build and the quality. It's just so lovely to use. Straight out of the box, it's just beautiful. That's about it. Not much else to say, is it?
No.
Good looking rig.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. That is the new 4K Lite from HIKMICRO. We're done.
We're done.
Sweet.
We'll see you later.